Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 multiplayer battle here. I am bringing the Vampire Accounts versus the Beastmen. I am led by the Red Duke. We have 2 Vargulfs, 2 Banshees, so that's going to be kind of like my hero killing squad. We have 3 Graveguard, one of which is going to be the Stearnsmen. There are, I believe, 3 or 4 Skeletal Warriors, 2 on each flank here. 3 Zombie Warriors in the front. We have a Corpse Cart behind, and then the Coggenstein Stalkers, probably mispronouncing that. Skeletal Warrior here also in the middle next to our Stearnsmen. For the Beastmen, we have 2 Harpies, an Ungor Herd, multiple Gore Herds, a couple of which have shields, 2 normal Minotaurs, 2 Bestigors, and then they're being led by Morgul the Shadowgrave, and they also have a Gore Bull. So you can look at the troop count there. We slightly outnumber them because I brought 3 groups of zombies. So immediately, I'm pretty sure that the Red Duke can handle 2 groups of Harpies, and they have no ranged units to support this fight, at least not that I can see, because Ungor Raiders are also stalking, but they don't have them in this battle. So we're going to cast the Curse of Years on these Harpies, dropping their melee attack, and I'm just going to accept this battle, and we're going to try and hopefully win. I did not bring Raised Dead, because I just think the spell is a little too good for the Vampire Count, so I'm just not going to bring it, at least not with the Red Duke. Maybe with like Heinrich Himmler I would bring it, because Heinrich kind of needs all the help he can get. Yeah, so the rest of my army I'm just going to kind of have out here. Did I bring 2? No, there's my 3rd zombie. I was like, I know I brought 3 zombies. And honestly, I'm not really in too much of a rush to charge the enemy because I kind of want to win this fight first, which I'm clearly winning. We are taking some damage, but we're the Vampire Accounts. Also, he is a vampire, so he's going to be able to regenerate in combat, and we're going to be fine. So you can see we're going to terrify 1 group of Harpies, then we're going to focus on the 2nd group. A lot of dead Harpies down there. So the enemy player is going to start charging me, and I'm actually going to withdraw a little bit because, again, I don't want to get into the main combat here until I've dealt with the Harpies. I see no reason why I should engage until this is done because we're going to win that fight, so I'm going to be just pulling back a little bit. Also, the Red Duke talks a lot. Talks a lot of nonsense that I have no idea what the hell he's saying, but he likes talking. We are down here at half health, but again, I'm okay with that. Taking out the 2 Harpy groups, I'm totally fine. Enemy army is still marching forward, and I believe I stopped. Yeah, I'm going to stop right here. We're going to accept this charge now. The fight with the Harpies is almost done. So we're going to be charging here with the Skeletal Warriors against the Younger Spearmen. The zombies are going to take the brunt of the Minotaurs, I think, is who's going to run into those. Then on the left flank here, we have Skeletal Warriors against Bestigors. Bestigors are obviously going to win that fight, but they are backed up by a Graveguard. We've got a Gore Herd and the Gore Bull coming in. And I'm going to try and take out, I think, the Gore Bull first, or maybe the Minotaurs with my kind of hero killing squad. I'm going to keep the 2 Banshees and the 2 Vargulfs together for the most part. And then here comes the Red Duke after his fight with the Harpies. He's going to come in here. We're going to try and kill these Minotaurs. But then I see that they're going after a Corpse Cart, which I kind of want to save, but the Gore Bull is pretty fast and kind of hard to stop in melee, but we're going to disengage from the Minotaurs over here and try to focus on the Gore Bull, who's now honestly just kind of isolated from most of their army, so this is an easier target for us. I'm not sure what this spell is. Curse of Years, I think? Yeah. Now the Curse of Years being dropped down in the middle here. We have the normal just zombies just being torn through here. But I pulled back the Stearnsmen to try and deal with these Gore herds as we try and collapse in on this Gore Bull and the Minotaurs here with our hero killing squad. Or the 2 Banshees and the 2 Vargulfs. Meanwhile, over here on the flank, the Coggenstein Stalkers are kind of losing to these Minotaurs to be expected. The Graveguard are pulling out this fight because it is a losing battle. And then on the right side, just Skeletal Warriors going up against Ungor Spearmen is just, it's whatever. This flank I'm not really too concerned about. The Graveguard holding these Pesticors off for a decent amount of time. We have the Invocation of the Heck being dropped on the clump of soldiers here, including the Red Duke himself, so he's going to be able to regenerate a little bit. And we are still just trying to murder this Gore Bull who has been isolated from the rest of their army. You can see we're dealing a massive amount of damage because, I mean, these are 2... Did I say Vargulf? I say Gore Bull, right? Because 2 Vargulfs against the Gore Bull is a pretty good fight for us, and especially when they're backed up by the Banshees and the Red Duke. Like, this is a lot of power against 1 single Gore Bull. It's kind of why I always bring 2 Gore Bulls. 2 Gore Bulls together is pretty impressive. Here you can see a unit of the Chaos Spawn being summoned by Morgul the Shadowgrave. I did manage to kind of save our Corpse Cart for a little bit. I ran them away from the Gore Bull and the group of Minotaurs that was chasing them, but then Morgul is going to collapse, and this Corpse Cart I don't believe is going to last too much longer. And then the Stearnsmen have a lot to deal with over here. Chaos Spawn, 2 Minotaur groups, Gore Herds, and here comes a 2nd Chaos Spawn being summoned from the remains of our Corpse Cart, which kind of doesn't make sense, but hey, you know, video games. Coggenstein Stalkers are kind of on their last legs here against these Bestigors who, luckily enough, were not re-engaged. And then this Gore Herd. And now the Hero Squad is going to come in here and try and start dealing with the Minotaurs. The whole point of this army is honestly, this Hero Squad here is supposed to be handling all of the very high threat units like the Gorbel, these Minotaurs, and then, you know, Morgor and all that. And then the rest of the army is honestly just there to keep everything else at bay. And I don't really care about them. As you can see here, because I'm just kind of leaving these skeletal warriors to die, they're only here to keep units distracted. The only thing I really care about is this hero squad. As you can see, I'm just keeping together this entire battle. Meanwhile, the rest of the enemy army is slowly kind of destroying mine, and you can see that they have not brought back their harpies. I'm assuming because they're not looking down to their unit cards, because I do the same thing. Units that come back from routing, it sometimes takes me a while to notice them. Just because you're so focused on what's happening here and not what's on your unit cards down here, when you should be. Like, the best players are probably looking at their unit cards, they're looking at the minimap more. I don't do that as much, and that's why I'm not the best player. So lucky for me, they're not bringing the harpies back. They will come into combat a little bit later. But you can see here, I'm now just currently chasing off these routing Besticore herds, because that is the unit that I'm afraid of, just because of their armor-piercing damage capabilities. So we're going to be chasing off, and I'm just going to leave the rest of my army to die, basically. Also, I want to wait for these Chaos Spawn to unsummon themselves, because there are still 2 over there. So there we go, we lost the Sternsmen. These Skeletal Warriors over here are just going to slowly lose against the Besticore herd. And most of my army is dead, and I'm okay with that. Right now, I'm honestly not that worried at this point in the match, even though you may think I should be, but we still have a ton of resources here within 2 Banshees, 2 Vargulfs, and a Red Duke that still has some access to the Winds of Magic. And again, 2 of these Chaos Spawn are going to be unsummoned here soon. You can see they're slowly dying. And here come the Harpies back, but still, this is kind of scary. Even without the Chaos Spawn, they still have 2 Minotaurs, they still have more Gore at full health, a couple Gore herds, and a Besticore herd are going to be over there. So I'm going to just take my time here, and we're going to make sure that these units do not come back, is what I'm trying to do. Because there's really no point for me to go back here at this point, because they have the Chaos Spawn, so I'm just kind of whittling down time for these things to be unsummoned. So at the same time, we're just trying to rout off what units that we can. Killed enough Besticores over here that I guess some of the Besticores from that unit ended up running this way, so they're going to actually come back from routing because they're no longer around our Terra units, so we're just going to kind of run over here and try to re-engage them again. Meanwhile, I'm sending the Red Duke after the Harpies who came back from routing, because why not? They can't really stop me. So we're going to engage them. You can see we issue Terror on them because of the Zombie Dragon. Now we're going to get into the second group, and we're just going to slowly pick these guys apart, because now it's in this part of the game where I still have a very strong force, but if we just kind of plow into the center of the formation, we could get surrounded and murdered pretty quickly, because the leadership of the Vargulfs is really low, and when it drops, they start to crumble, so they're going to just die like really fast. Also, does regeneration, hold on, I need to confirm this before I say anything. Does regeneration still hold true when, okay, I guess it's still regenerating even when you're crumbling. Okay, just wanted to make sure. But still, when their leadership falls and they start to crumble, like, that's not a good thing. So I'm just taking my time, and we're going to isolate any unit that we can and destroy it with our very mobile force here. And you can see we're just rerouting those Harpies. We're going to reroute these Harpies here soon, and we're going back on this Besticore unit who it took us on a ride, because we had to kill him over here, and then we had to go over here and kill him again, and it was part of the same unit, and then we killed that part of the unit, and then had to come back over here, and there we go. We're finally going to break that Besticore unit. The Chaos Spawn now at this point have been unsummoned, leaving them the 2 Minotaur groups, more Gore, and then a couple Gore herds and the Besticore herd. And I'm just slowly taking my time taking out these Harpies. Again, I am in no rush, and I'm going to just kind of sit here and let them get their vigor back. Just keep them standing still. We can actually fast forward here, because I'm just focused on those Harpies. Then we're going to join back up. Going to send in a Banshee to see if she can get the charge of the Minotaurs, and then we're going to try and do a counter charge was my idea. So you can see they're using their charge on this Banshee who, you know, negates a lot of physical damage. I'm going to send the other Banshee over here. What am I? Oh, I see. So we're distracting the Minotaurs over here. We're actually going to try and route this Besticore herd. I forgot about this part. So here we go. The Vargulf's going to have a party time with this Besticore herd as our 2 Banshees tank the Minotaurs, the actual scary units of the enemy's army here. They're very good at tanking Minotaurs because they're very high physical resistance. I'm not going to risk my Red Duke quite yet, but you see another Chaos Spawn has been summoned here from Morgor. And I believe we're going to try and disengage, because there is literally no reason to fight this Chaos Spawn along with the rest of their army. So you can see here we are disengaging. I'm going to let this thing just die. We still have, I mean, 4 minutes is left in the replay. I think at this point we still had more, closer to like 6 or 7. So we had time to kind of just spend not having to fight a fully grouped Chaos Spawn. If your force is mobile enough and you can disengage, you don't have to fight these. These things will die eventually on their own. Don't feel like you need to fight them. Unfortunately, though, this fresh Chaos Spawn is fast enough to catch our Banshee, And then they're going to catch her, and then I think the rest of the forces are going to catch her, even though I popped Slippery. The thing is, she was just so tired, so she couldn't run that far. So we're going to be over here killing off the other Minotaur group has now been separated from the rest of the pack. So this is kind of cool for me. Because at the time, I thought I could get this Banshee out of here, but eventually she's just going to get caught. So let's fast forward again. We're going to murder this one group of Minotaur. And she just cannot escape from the speed and charge of these units. So eventually I'm just going to give her an attack order. I'm like, okay, fine, you do what you do. Just do what damage you can. And she's going to eventually die. So that's going to leave this enemy player now with one group of Minotaurs that's almost dead, a Chaos Spawn that's dying, and a couple Gore-Herds and Morgor. I think I won out on this exchange, killing these Bestigors and then that isolated group of Minotaurs, so I was okay with the death of the Banshee. And really at this point you can even see the balance of power saying it's in my favor because we still have, you know, Vargulfs that are full health, we have a Banshee, we have a Red Duke. I don't know if I have much Winds of Magic left, but he's still almost at full health. So right here I'm just, again, buying time, waiting for the Chaos Spawn to die. There's no reason to engage. We hold the mobility here. The enemy player knows that, so they're just going to stand still and get their vigor back, which is a good choice. And I'm just going to sit here and wait for these Chaos Spawn to die. And there they go. They die. So now we're going to charge in. So we're going to let the Banshee try and take the charge. You can see we're kiting, and they're going to finally turn around back with the Banshee. And we're going to do a counter charge with the Vargulfs. There's no reason to accept the charge of the Minotaurs. You can have the Banshee just run interference. So we're going to pounce on them. Do a lot of damage. I'm not sure what's being dropped here. Undeath Resurgence from our Red Duke. Oh, there we go. We had enough for another Curse of Years. So this is going to be basically the final battle. You can see we've already dealt a massive blow to what remains of the Minotaurs. I think they've been buffed by something. Maybe not. Maybe not. And this is all they have left. Gore-Herds running for their lives. Minotaur is going to stay there to the bitter end. And then Morgor. And here we go. They're going to be routing. They are broken. And we break the leadership of Morgor there at the very end. Morgor is a very tanky person. And I was totally okay with dismantling their army instead of trying to just focus on Morgor. You can focus on Morgor, especially with this type of hero squad. But I just didn't see the opportunity to do it without putting my people at risk. So again, that army was built around that core hero squad, a very mobile force that can go around and deal with high threat targets, and that's exactly how I used it, and it happened to work in this battle. The rest of my army got crushed, but they were supposed to get crushed. You can see I didn't really take many offensive units. I took the Konigstein Stalkers, which lower damage potential of enemies they're fighting. They have a higher armor. I took Graveguard without any kind of grave weapons to counter Bestigors, because again, they're just sit there to hold, because the killing force was the hero squad. So it worked this time anyway. So good game to my opponent. Gork is the greatest, which is a fact. Gork is the greatest. But for kills here, over 100 kills with the Red Duke. He murdered a ton of Harpies. The Banshees did okay. Our front line, Sternsman, 138 kills is not bad. Those are probably just against Gore-Herds, I guess. Corpse Cart was there to support the front line, but they got singled out by the enemy player, which was a good move on their part. And they took that out pretty quickly. And then someone Chaos Spawn from him. How are you going to... I mean, I guess there's a ton of bodies in there. I guess you can summon a bunch of spawn from those, I guess. But anyway, my army did what it was supposed to do. I wish my Corpse Card had survived a little bit longer. And then the Vargulfs and just did so well. They're really good. Vargulfs are really good. And I still don't see many people use them. I don't know why. They're just so good. I've been a supporter of Vargulfs from the beginning, and I wish I would see them more often brought in undead armies, but I don't know. People just, I don't know, maybe they think they're too expensive. I think they're great. They can fight Gorbals, they can fight Minotaurs, they literally can run through any front line. It doesn't matter what it is. They just walk right through it to get to the squishy bits behind, like, you know, a front line of Dwarven Ironbreakers. They don't give they're Vargulfs. They just run right through them. They're so good. I stress this enough, or I stress this all the time, because I need you all to bring puppies. The puppies are amazing. Damn it. Respect the puppies. Gork the greatest here. The front line did excellent at dismantling my front line. The Harpies had no chance against the Red Duke, although they did deal a lot of damage, but in the end they didn't have much of a chance. Ungro Spearman, over 100 kills against the Skeletal Warriors, and the Minotaurs did pretty well. The Scorebull got isolated and murdered. He was a little too courageous in trying to take out the Corpse Card all by himself, so we managed to pounce and kill him before he could do much. But again, good game to Gork is the greatest, and I hope you enjoyed that one. And let's go check out a replay, a cinematic replay. God, those Minotaurs just running through everything. Look at that shadow. Damn, those Minotaurs actually knocked down both puppies, didn't they? Woo, but then you went flying. They really wanted that corpse card. Those zombies did not last long against that gore hurt. I think the Vargals are one of my favorite units in this game. The fact that literally nothing can stop them. Well, I don't know, maybe a wall of Minotaurs can stop them, I'm not sure. But like any infantry-based defensive line, they have literally no chance. These things just walk right through them. They don't care. And a lot of monstrous creatures, they can get some penetration against infantry lines, but not many like the Vargals. Like, not even well, maybe Minotaurs can. The Gorbals can because they have that damn somersault move that just is insane. Oh, there goes my corpse card. Yeah, these Graveguard don't really have much of a chance against Bestigors. But they held for a long time. That was all they were supposed to do. You died well, Graveguard. I think we had just killed the Gorbal at this point. Now we're just gonna be chasing those guys off. Leaving these like Sternsmen to die. Goodbye, Sternsmen. You fought well. Honestly, I think we can just fast forward through most of the rest of this because it's kind of just me taking my time. The final stare down. And I'm like, oh, psych! Banshee, get in there! Charge! They make for excellent bodyguards. I mean, the thing is, like, the Vargals just have a very low leadership and very susceptible to range fire, so you just got to make sure that you don't put them in situations where they're going to lose. Like against a bunch of Dwarven Quarrelers, or alone in the middle of an enemy infantry line so that their leadership's going to tank. And if you do that, if you take care of the puppies will take care of you. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time.